All right, family, I want to talk about it. A couple minutes. Welcome back to Antoine Still's channel. A couple minutes on this topic, how a church protected child molesters. Let's dive in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get it.
She was a well-respected elementary teacher in the Protestant Reformed churches in America, known as a disciplinarian, and for writing poetry. But church records show that Hulda Kuiper was also a child molester with as many as 5 victims, all of them students.
Most of those details were covered up by the church until after her death. She never faced criminal charges. The PRC, as it's known, is now a church divided after a recently released report uncovered dozens of cases of child sexual abuse in congregations and schools in West Michigan and across the country, many of them dealt with privately.
The church has since denounced that report. Tonight, in the first part of our series, Private Sin, Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker spoke with 2 of Kuiper's survivors.
Brian and Sue, he is known as case number 1 in a recent church report that detailed Hulda Kuiper's years of sexual abuse. While he allowed us to use photos of him from school, he asked that we not identify him by name. People he works with, he says, don't know.
Everybody knew Hulda. She was a strict disciplinarian, known for spanking boys.
Case number 1 says he was 12 when it started in the 1970s. He's 62 now, married with 2 children.
She should have gone to jail.
Hulda Kuiper, then in her 40s, was a 6th grade teacher at Hope Protestant Reformed School in Walker for 16 years. But Kuiper, according to church records, was a predator with at least 5 victims, likely more. Also among those never charged with a crime, protected by her church. Case number 1 was teacher's pet in the 6th grade at Hope.
She would do a lot of talking about how you're special, you're more special than all the other students, you're good looking, you're obviously going to have all the girls chasing ya. She made friends with my parents, which is a standard pedophile technique, is to pull the family in and groom them also.
Soon she was touching him, kissing him, making him touch her, alone in the library or in a utility room at the school.
I'm a terrified 12-year-old. I don't know what to say to this strict disciplinarian. No. What's she going to do if I say no? Is she going to spank me? Am I going to be in huge trouble if I say no? So I'm just trapped. I mean, by the age of 12, I was trapped already.
Trapped, he said, and sexually assaulted beginning in the 7th grade, continuing until he was 17, sometimes in her classroom while kids were out on recess.
So we could hear the kids playing outside of the window.
At Covenant Christian High School, she would summon him by asking the school secretary to leave a note on his locker.
And I would go see her. I was so under her control, I thought I had to.
Finally, after another sexual assault, he drove north on Wilson Avenue, away from the school. He was 17.
Kept looking at the trees flying by. I just said, just pull it into the tree. Just be done. What you got to do is yank the wheel and just drive straight on into that tree and it'll be over with. I've only told that to a few people, but I swear I had a demon in the car with me. But the Lord kept it from happening, told her that's it.
You told her that's it?
Yeah. I'm never going to see you again. You're never going to see me. Otherwise, I'm going to tell.
She responded with letters. Please remember, my darling, I still love you very much, she wrote in one, and a Valentine's card signed, you know who. Several years later, in 1981, he was drunk at the beginning of a decade of alcohol and drug abuse when he told his parents, but only about kissing and hugging. His father, an elder, told the church. A recent report released by the church revealed leaders failed to investigate and failed to report it to authorities at the time. The statute of limitations had not expired by then, so she could have been prosecuted. Instead, back in 1981, the church placed the teacher on supervision, did not notify the school, and allowed her to keep teaching for 4 more years.
Just to keep her job, and even worse than that, they don't even tell the school what happened.
The school fired her in 1985 for insubordination, still unaware of the allegations. More than a decade later, in 2001, case number 1 says he met with the Reverend Ronald Caminga, the pastor at his church, Southwest PRC. And you told him it was Hulda?
Told him everything. And he says, well, I don't really think we should do anything. you're going to hurt your children. If this gets out, your children are going to suffer.
I think I was concerned about his family and about his kids and everything that would happen if this was made public.
Kamiga recalls calling police to ask about the statute of limitations without giving names. By then, it had expired. The law could not touch Hulda Kuiper.
She used to call me the little Nazi all the time. That was her special name, because I was the German kid in a school of Dutch people.
Heidi Woldheis says she was also a victim of Hulda Kuiper, her sixth grade teacher in 1979, who often kept her in for recess.
Any touching was usually over my shirt. A few times she would start going under. And then began the, I need to take you to the bathroom because we need to teach you about what happens when women get their periods, and I'm going to teach you some things. And she began assaulting me. By the time I left junior high, I was a shell of a mess with a serious drinking problem. I was blackout drinking at least twice a week, just desperate to stop this up here.
She didn't tell anyone about Hulda Kuiper until a year and a half ago. Never got a chance to confront her. Woldheis, now an ordained minister, says she knows more than 100 PRC sexual abuse victims and holds support meetings at her home. She's also among those posting on a forum for ex-PRC members that tracks abuse and has pushed for change.
I will do anything I have to do to make sure eyes are on this church and somebody answers for the damage they have caused, because there's so many of us.
Hulda Kuiper was listed on the church's website among the, quote, saints who died in the Lord. In 2022, she was 90. Tonight at 7, her case is not an isolated one. A third-party investigation uncovered decades of sexual abuse of children connected to the PRC, finding that the church had violated state laws by not reporting some to police. Target 8 spoke with survivors and confronted some of the accused abusers. We have much more on our website at woodtv.com.
So there you have it. It's definitely crazy. I've been, my whole entire life, I've been hearing stories about churches and, pastors, deacons, but never really heard like a female, touching children. And it's very sad. Sad thing. A lot of these children are vulnerable, scared to talk to their parents. But it's always these places that children are supposed to be protected most, whether it's school, churches. It's always an adult, touching these children in ways that, especially when you got that title, it's like a church, a pastor. Like, you sitting here doing this. It's something to think about, because some people, they don't even go to church anymore because things like this happen. So they don't even really have that strong relationship with God. It's definitely something we need to, talk about. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Keep this going. I got some more videos about this story. It's definitely bigger than what you think. But we're going to dive in, and thank you.